What's up everyone, Granddaddy here. Hope you guys are doing well today. And as promised, I'm not going to be showing you any more footage of Fuel, at least for a while. But I did tell you I was going to post videos weekly. So I figured there's no better time than now to do a tutorial that you guys have been asking for. A lot of you have actually asked how I move the trains in Zombie Train. And it's really simple when you break it down, so I figured I'd do that for you guys today. I'm not going to give you the detailed script that I used, but I will give you the dumbed down version that will at least get you started on moving models and brush models. Real quick though, before we get started, I do want to make sure you understand where I learned this. A while back when I made the shack, I wanted to make a shark move. So I posted a thread, and Baseball 4Ev was the main guy that kind of stepped up and helped me understand scripting a little bit, or at least this part of scripting. And there was a couple other ones, Bamskate, and Yafil, and the Zombie Don. They all definitely helped out, so very thankful for those guys. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew where I learned this. So I'm just kind of passing it along to teach you guys now. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a script model. And I don't know if you already know this, but when you create models in Radiant, you can actually go to your root raw xmodel folder, and you can actually search what you're looking for. So in this case, obviously train. So I'm doing that here. And it just makes it easier to find whatever it is you need. The only downside is you can't really see the model until you copy and paste the name into the Radiant X model folder, if that makes sense, or X model. There you go. There we go. So there you go. There's your train. And again, that's a script model. If you do a MISC model, it will not work. So make sure it's a script model. And what you're going to want to do is select that. Hang on, let me fix this real quick. It's just killing me. The track's not straight. Alright, there we go. Much better. Okay, so you're going to select the script model and press N and bring up the window and give it a target name of train. And again, this needs to be a script model, not a MISC model. If you use a MISC model, it won't work. So the next thing we're going to do is create the trigger to actually move whatever it is you're moving. So you're going to go to trigger use. And you're going to give this the target name of train trig, and you don't have to use these exact target names. You just need to use whatever you're going to use in the script. I would recommend, if you're moving a boat, that you don't use train. You use boat trig and boat for the target name. That makes sense. So there, that's done. And now we're going to move over, and I'm going to show you how to make a brush model move. As you can see, I already have one here. I'm going to delete it and show you how to make it from scratch. And real quick, I make, like if I have a door, like I have a door blocker here, I always make it a player clip and texture the one side. And the reason I do that is so the zombies can actually go through the door once you remove it. Because if you use a regular brush model, the zombies, even when I use dynamic path, for some reason they won't go through the door. And I don't know why that is. If you know, definitely let me know. But the workaround of that I found is to create a player clip and texture the one side, and then that way it doesn't mess with the zombies at all. So go ahead and create your player clip, texture the one side, and select the whole brush model and go down and make it a script brush model. It's very important that you do that. And once you make it a script brush model, select it and give it a target name of door. And from there, I'm going to be jumping over to the scripts and showing you guys what you need to do now. But that's pretty much it for the Radiant side of things. Alright, so you're going to want to go to your mods, or your root mods and map name, and then go to maps. And you're going to want to create a new .gsc file. And let me see, copy that. The best way to do this, if you don't already know how to create a .gsc file, is just copy your mapname.gsc and paste it back into place. And you'll want to, I'm going to name this something else. Hang on. There we go. You'll want to name it, in this case, you're going to name it train move .gsc. And again, make sure that you rename the copied version of your map name.gsc. And then you're going to want to select the script that I give you on ugx-mods.com. Select all of that, copy it, and select your new .gsc file, and select everything inside and paste the new script that I gave you inside. I hope all that made sense. Then you're going to file and save, and I'm going to delete this real quick. There we go. So I'm going to go real quickly through what all this is, and hopefully help you understand a little bit of scripting. Your trigger obviously is going to be your train trig, and train is going to be the model that we're moving, which is a train. The door is going to be the door that we made. So here's all the target names, and it kind of tells you what all each does. If you want your model or brush model to move, and they have to require power, these are the two lines. So if you have this on the script, you'll have to have the power on to use the trigger. If you don't want to have the power on, just delete these two lines. The hint string tells the player what the trigger does. And real quick, this is going to be the sound file. This is what's going to play when your object is called. Train horn is not included in the tutorial, so you'll have to add in your own sound. I'm not going to go through how to do that. There's several tutorials on how to build sounds into your map. So definitely do that. But this is just the script that I use. So this lets all the players hear the sound when the trigger is used. Here's the train. This is what actually moves the model. And you see here it says move X. You can change that to move Y or move Z, depending on what X, Y, or Z coordinate you're needing. To see what you're needing, go ahead and go into Radiant, select your model, and if you look down here in the bottom, you'll see your X, Y, and Z coordinates. If you don't see them, you might need to make it full screen. But if you actually select the model and move, you can see which coordinate is moving. So in this case, my X coordinate is moving negative. So I'll need to obviously make the script say run your X coordinate negative. There's another way to do that. You can actually take your mouse in the 2D view and just slide across or up and down, and you can see which coordinate is moving. So that's how you find that out. And this is the distance as to where the model will move. So I could make it just move 100, or I could make it move negative 800. That's just the distance that you want the model to move. This is the speed that your model or brush model is going to be moving. You can make this move really fast by giving it something like 0.5, or move really slow by giving it 20. The higher the number, obviously the slower it will move, especially depending on the distance. So you'll have to just test and play with that to see get your movement speed the way you want it to be. You'll obviously just have to play with it a little bit. And coming down here, this sound file right here, door slide open, you don't have to implement in your map. It's already in World at War. So whenever you open a door in any Nazi zombie map that Treyarch made, this is the sound that they use, and that just lets players know, hey, a door opened. So you definitely want to include that if you're planning on opening a door after you move a model. If you notice in Zombie Train, when you called the trains, they opened another area. This sound right here let players know, hey, there's another area open, you better start looking around for it. So here's my brush model. This is the door, and I have it moving straight down pretty fast. So that way it's out of view from the players. And since it's out of view from the players, we don't need it anymore. So you're going to give it a wait time, and you can actually just delete it. It helps the map run smoother, especially if you have a lot of different doors or debris that you're removing from the view of the player. I would definitely recommend deleting that. Alright, so that is all done in the new .gsc that you've created. I guess I'm going to save it. I don't know if I changed anything. The next thing you're going to want to do is come to your mapname.gsc, and if you come down, here's your zombie mode and your zombie mode main. Below that, you're going to, I have the script that you need to put in place here. As you can see, it's called train move, and all this is doing is telling your mapname.gsc. It calls that new .gsc file that we've created, that trainmove.gsc. So there that is. Put that in there and save, and make sure your sounds are right if you've created sounds, any images. So what we're going to do is build your mod, and where are we at here? Obviously you should already know how to do this. Check mod.ff and IWD file. This is important. You need to come down here and find the new .gsc. I've already compiled the map, so train move is already ticked. Make sure that's ticked, or else you'll get an error saying that it can't find trainmove.gsc. Alright, so that's it for the tutorial side of things. Let's jump over and see how it works, how it looks in game, and I shall see you guys in a sec. Alright guys, if you followed the steps, you should have just had the result that I had, everything working. If it didn't work for you, you got an error, or the object or the model didn't move, definitely let me know. I don't mind helping you work through and figuring out why it didn't work, because it should have worked. Hopefully it did. But guys, if this tutorial was helpful in any way, if you could do me a favor and hit that like button for me, I would really appreciate it. And also, if you're not a subscriber, and you want to know and learn more tutorials on stuff that I do in my maps, I definitely recommend subscribing, because I plan on doing more of this in the future. If you guys see something in my map and you want to know how I did it, I have no problem sharing most of the stuff that I do, especially after the map's already been out. So definitely ask. I might not be able to do the tutorial right away. Like in this case, you guys have been asking for several months now. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't mind answering any questions, so post them on YouTube. Definitely check out ugx-mods.com. And that's going to be it for me. As always, thank you so much for the likes, comments, and subscriptions, and I'll see you guys soon.